Hello guys, it's JongLi here, and I'm back with another Rome Total War online commentary battle. This time it's a 3 versus 3, and the rules are just no elephants and no artillery. So I've brought a Seleucid army, and you'll see why later. I brought a Seleucid army, and it's basically just a cataphract spam with 6 silver shield pikes thrown in. So the silver shield pikes are gold, and the cataphracts are pretty much maxed out. As my ally, I've got Corbzer from the OTD clan playing as Germania. He's brought this Gothic Cav unit, a bunch of other Gothic Cav units, and a bunch of Zerkers as well. He's hidden them in these woods here, so you can't see them, but they're there. And over on this very far left, we have NoxiousCaleb, who is a newer player. And he's on our team as well. And on the other team, we have CENTURIONmars FR. I've seen him around the lobby. He's not that well known though. But this entire team is playing as the Julii Romans, so it's going to be pretty hard to differentiate. But this is Mars. Over here we've got Rico FR. I'm gonna guess this FR thing is a clan. I really don't know, but these guys were speaking Spanish or French, or probably not French, Spanish or something, and yeah, it was a bit, you know, that's why I think they formed this team. It was probably an all Spanish speaking team or something. And we've got the Djon-dj VLADIVOSTOK. I've seen this guy a lot in the lobby. But I don't, maybe I've played him before, but I'm not entirely sure. So we've got, Corbzer in the center, Caleb on the far left, and I'm up here. My initial plan was to try and rush this hill with my teammates and take it, and then use this hill advantage to push down, but, Corbzer said, I've got all my berserkers hidden here, and I want a melee brawl, so I kinda conceded and went along with that instead. What I was mainly worried about was Caleb, because he was really isolated, but he was playing as the Greeks, so I guess I didn't have too much to worry about. And those are maxed out Spartans, by the way. So let's get this battle started. As you can see, my first thoughts were, yeah, let's rush the hill. So I've just pushed my infantry up this hill a bit, trying to probably pressure Djon-dj off. Meanwhile, Corbzer is just sitting here in the woods, and he's still persisting on basically trying to lure them into this wood area and getting a melee fight started. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way right now, and I've basically changed my plan from going up here to taking out this guy ASAP. But this battle was actually played on restricted camera, so I couldn't see that far away, and I didn't know his entire army, you know. Oh wait, this isn't him. Someone's army is. Yes, must be this guy. Mars, no, not Mars. This dude? No, the dude in the middle, his whole army is made of cav. But I was planning to rush this army down with my guys and try to get my teammates to help, but he was pretty far off. My guys would have been pretty tired by the time they got there, so I decided against it, and I decided to just park my guys over there. There was pretty good communication going back and forth from both teams, I think, because they accidentally posted a few messages in Spanish, I believe, on the global chat, so we were able to see them, but we couldn't interpret them. And we were communicating a lot between us three, Caleb, Corbzer and myself. So yeah, as you can see, I was really planning to go for this rush, and then I see this lot come out of the woods, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, no. And yeah, despite my preferences for this rush, I decided to take a more reserved approach and fall back to this forest where we could kind of muster our forces and think of a counter plan. So clearly the Spanish team, I'll just call them, are mustering their forces on this hill, and this will give them a big advantage going into the fight. Oh, by the way, the money for this fight was 50k each, so that just gives you an idea of how much money we had to spend. It is on normal size though, so it didn't lag up. I think Djon-dj is actually gone for kind of 31k like formation with the peeler screens in front, but none of us have peeler, so I really don't see the point of that. He's got some archers here at the back, which he's going to use to shoot stuff, shoot infantry mainly. And it seems like they've split their roles up between each of them. So they've got one dude with big army of infantry, one dude with heaps of cavalry, and one dude with heaps of infantry. So they've gone for the 3-1, the 2-1 split of infantry and cav. So as you can see, just these woods over here, very important, pretty much our base. And Caleb is running over as well, which is nice. Here, Djon-dj is just shuffling up, moving into range with his archer auxilia over here. And these guys don't have like amazing upgrades, but because they're going to be shooting downhill, they're going to be pretty effective. Rico FR, as you can see, he's massive cavalry army. He's also got a general's cav unit over here. Yes, over here. And yeah, and one equite unit, which is probably just his spare money. Couldn't spend it all. Well, not enough to spend on another Praetorian cav unit. So yeah, I'm just falling back to these woods again. And I told you guys this before, but there is a ton of berserkers holed up in this forest, and a ton of Gothic cav. I think Corbzer also wanted the forest advantage that barbarians get, but you'll see how it turns out later. We'll see if he gets it or not. And these archers were pretty much second-hand money, so like leftover money that Noxious had. But he's put all his money into these Spartan hoplites, which is what we told him to do. Since it's pretty easy to manage all that. So here we are, hold up. And basically these archer auxilia are just shooting my silver shield pikes, but this is actually fine, because as long as they're not killing these berserkers, as you can see my mouse is not is hovering over one right now, as long as these berserkers are fine, we should have the advantage. And even though the arrows are hitting the spot the berserkers are in, they're not dying. Interesting. So yeah, we're letting him use our use his arrows on our infantry. Our silver shield pikes are really cheap. They're just gold, which is cheap for this high Denarii. But yeah, they're considered pretty cheap at this Denarii level, so it doesn't really matter if he takes out a unit, half a unit. But soon Caleb's gonna make a good move, and he's gonna start taking some of the arrow fire instead of me, because his Spartan hoplites have much more armor and they're much better, have much higher defense stats. So this is pretty passive right now. We're still discussing plans and everything, so I think we can fast forward here because nothing much is happening. So the arrow fire continues. We can see the FR clan members moving around in the background while Djon-dj is just peppering our guys with fire arrows. Should really take off the fire arrows if they're not really, you know. Fire arrows are really only good for the morale effect. If you're just trying to kill stuff, normal arrows are usually fine 90% of the time. So I think we can start playing it here. As you can see, Caleb's moved his guys out here, and Djon has turned his attention to them, and he's just shooting these guys now. Even though these archers are only probably silver bronze or something, or maybe they might be just gold attack, but yeah, they're killing these guys even from the front because they're shooting downhill, which gives them a pretty nice advantage. Yeah, Caleb's archers are very tired. My guys are fresh. I've rested them up from their light jog around the hill, and Corbzer's guys have been sitting there the whole game. So in terms of freshness, we're doing pretty well. So are our opponents though, they're just warmed up at worst. Tired, these archers. So the real worry is whether we can use the shock factor of the berserkers over here to our advantage. And yeah, so our whole plan is just centered around these berserkers. So we'll just see how that plays out. So Djon-dj still firing. Meanwhile, we have Rico FR over here. And Rico's doing this very sneaky move. What he's doing is he's walking his cav down and trying to encircle us. So I did not turn my cav at all until he reached about here. And that's because I did not want him to know that I had realized he's being sneaky, and you'll see why later. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But Mars just steadily shuffling his guys down. This general unit here seems to be there just for the morale boost. I'm really unsure about who's coordinating this in the Spanish team, but I suspect it was Djon or Mars. That's just what I think. So here you can see Rico's run his guys all the way down here, yes. And at this point, Caleb was saying, "Look, look," and using the notification arrows and pointing at the cav. I was like, yes, I know, but we're going to pretend we can't see it. And this in itself is a trap, as you'll see later. So all is going well for the Julii team. As you know, there's this little blue-red bar on the bottom of your screen, or on the top right of your screen if you have minimum UI enabled. And the blue bar was not in our favor at this point. It was slightly in their favor. So the Julii supposedly did have the advantage at this moment. So Centurion, this is one of his cav units down here. I'm not really sure what he's doing, because this unit isn't going to do much, but we've got two very, very large forces of infantry right now. And it seems the Djon-dj has gotten a bit impatient, and he is now marching towards Caleb. During our planning, Corbzer mentioned that he thought the Djon-dj was one of the hot-headed types who didn't really like to wait around, so he wanted to use that to our advantage, and I thought, well, if he's played him before, then maybe I should take his word for it. And so we basically went for this waiting game, and they did come down the hill. So as you can see, Mars is coming down the hill right now. And this is where my plan comes into action, right? So we know Corbzer has about 5 Gothic Cav hidden here. Here we go. He's got 4 Gothic Cav hidden and this 1 Gothic Cav unit as his general. And what we're doing is trapping Rico. So I'm moving my Cav out here to block Rico's escape route, while Corbzer puts his cav here to block Rico from accessing our infantry. So at this point I believe Rico sees what we're trying to do, so I peel off 2 units and 4 units and try to stop him. I actually expected him to pull away even further to save his cav, but he doesn't. He actually goes for the fight, and my micro was really terrible at this point because I was looking here and there, and I didn't notice anything wrong until my cataphract started routing. So I sent these guys back into the fray. Meanwhile, the berserkers have been unleashed. There are a ton of berserkers here. Fire arrows coming in from Caleb, very nice move there, and the Spartans are getting into it as well. So I'm moving my infantry back a bit just to see where I can support. I've got 4 cataphracts back here, and they're just going to take out these Praetorian cav units here. Meanwhile, Corbzer and my cav have teamed up and are mopping up these Praetorian Cav at the bottom. Rico realizes that the only chance he has to save his cav is if he gets rid of this blob, and somehow routes them in time, but so have Corbzer and myself, and we're just charging towards these guys, and now Rico's forced to pull away. But yeah, for some reason he decides to keep going, for coming back for more. And these cataphracts are maxed out, so you can imagine the damage they do when they hit with their maces. Meanwhile, I've noticed these Spartans of Caleb have fallen behind these berserkers and the axemen as well. So I'm going to push my silver shield pikemen in behind to try and support. These berserkers are doing a really great job. Urban's routing left, right and center, and we've got to keep up this route, so I'm sending guys to support here. And because Djon-dj and Mars are a bit slow here to support, I managed to catch these Urbans. And since this group was wrapped up, we are able to kind of maintain the route through this block. Caleb really should be charging towards these guys here, but I guess he was struggling to micro or something. Meanwhile, we have killed all the enemy cav. Essentially all the enemy cav. This is all routed cav. This is all that remains. Except for this one unit that Rico has, his general unit, which he hasn't used for much. So, meanwhile, on this left flank, my Silver Shield pikemen are holding out surprisingly well, for how bad they are. They're probably the most overpriced pikes in the game. But yeah, they're holding out somehow. I've got a berserker in back here, just churning up these Urbans. And even Caleb is starting to put in the pressure with his Spartans on the left and the right. I've just charged a lot of my cataphracts into the infantry, taken out a couple of urban cohort units, and even routed Mars's general. So this should get a lot of Mars's troops to rout much quicker than they would have. And I'm able to turn my pikes around too and face Mars downhill because he tried to encircle me, and I've routed all his cav that were uphill. I can now turn my guys and face his guys downhill, which is very good advantage. And as you can see, as soon as I turn them around, 2 Urbans routed right there, and these berserkers helping out as well with the fear. I've put my cataphracts into some melee against this one unit. It breaks even though it's uphill. There we go. Corbzer's cav crushing some of Mars's infantry there. We've got NoxiousCaleb, who seems a bit confused about which direction he should be going. He really should be turning around and hitting these guys since the general's there, and the bulk of the enemy's main force is on this side. But that's okay. At this point, the battle is very, very much in our favor. And I'm just trying to use my cav to support and tear up as much infantry as I can. As you can see, some nice Pilar coming in from Mars there, which kills quite a few of my cav. My cav are pretty tired now as well. They're exhausted. Some of them are just very tired, but it's so late in the end game that I'm not too worried. Here, Silver Shield pikes with Spartans just churning up these urban cohorts. He's even got some in the back. These urban cohorts are no match for all these maxed out Spartans. No matter how fresh Caleb may be, these Spartans won't fail him. Not if he's attacking from the front. So yep, our Catters and Corbzer's Gothic Cav doing a lot of work this game. Just mopping up the generals. There's the enemy general, and it seems he's dead. So I think we killed all the enemy generals. Not too sure. There's the last general. So we've killed 2 enemy generals. Yeah, we're just gonna catch up with this unit here, this unit here. It's gonna get double teamed by cav and infantry, and triple team, even though my cav are exhausted, it doesn't even matter, because we have such a huge advantage. It routes pretty much instantly. And there's this one last unit here, and I believe one unit somewhere else, but we couldn't see it. I think it was hidden in these woods, we just didn't know it was there.
The enemy show their true virtue.
So we'll just fast
They are
forward
not
this.
soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
There we go, there's the last unit. As you can see, the host actually just left and terminated the game before they lost. Luckily, I have saved some of the results, so I'll try and include it in this video. If I can't, I'll just include it in the description. But well played to my teammates, Corbzer especially. Caleb did some work as well. Well played to our opponents, and it was a fun game. I really enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.